What's good, YouTube? I'm back with another video. Right now we're watching the Silas Wire. I don't know who podcast this is, and I think his name is Dave. I seen some clips of him. I don't know who he is. Like I said, I'm just now diving into politics. Well, I've been into politics, but I'm just now really deep diving into it and becoming trying to become like an activist and a talk show person or a podcaster or an influencer, whatever the fuck you want to call me, a commentator, like whatever you want to call me, label me as. I don't really give a fuck. I ain't liberal. So, yeah, let's see what he got to say.
Israel agreed.
I know. We heard you say that. Anyway.
No, you need to talk about that.
Yeah,
Israel
you're wrong,
agreed
but okay.
to every single.
Make sure you roll up to. Or roll up.
Yeah, right. Okay. Anyway,
You telling me I'm wrong?
You know what?
For the 15th time, you're 100% wrong. Benjamin Netanyahu, the longest-serving prime minister, the longest-serving prime minister in Israeli history, has made at the center of his entire career thwarting a Palestinian state. He has said this in his own words over and over again. You don't know what you're talking about if you think that Israel has just been trying. No, you're just dumb.
40 senators moved. Their own leader didn't. Chuck Schumer is supposed to run the Senate Democratic Caucus. Last night, 40 of his own members voted to block weapons transfers to Israel. 6 people stood with him. 6. And when Mehdi Hassan put that math in front of Senator Peter Welch and asked how a man leads a caucus when he's outnumbered almost 7-1 by his own party, Welch tried to wave it off as a discussion he didn't want to have. It wasn't a discussion. It was arithmetic. And arithmetic doesn't care who's uncomfortable with it. I am Silas Miller, and I have watched a lot of politicians dodge a question by calling it unfair. I have never watched one get cornered by a number that simple, 40-7, and still try to talk his way around it. Stick around. Because this interview doesn't stay in the Senate cloakroom. It ends with a 5-year-old girl's name, and once you hear why, the vote count stops feeling like Washington trivia and starts feeling like the whole point. If you think leadership should answer for the gap between what it says and what its own party is doing, help me say it louder. Subscribe to The Wire. Here is the interview.
And then we go.
You know what? Hey, subscribe to bro. Hey, subscribe to bro. That was a very smooth talk. He explained it really quickly, very smoothly, very calmly. You know what? Subscribe to bro. You know what? Let's subscribe. Let's subscribe to him. I just subscribed to him. Let's subscribe to bro. All right.
Oh, I want to go back to some of the things that Dave Smith said. You know, it sounds cute to act as if they're just indiscriminately bombing people. They're doing strategic strikes. They have to get approval to do strikes. We know that they're doing it. People don't like it. It's ugly. I get it. I hate that it's happening. I would have ended the war in 48 hours, and it would have been a mass casualty situation. However, we would have been done quicker, and it would have been 2 years.
Yeah, shit. I agree with him. Yeah, I agree with him. If we're going to war, right, and we don't want the war, but we're going to go to war anyways. Like, it's to the point, like, bro, we don't want to go to war, but we're going to go anyways. If you're going to fight, go fight. You're going to go to bomb. Don't try to, like, oh, we go bomb here and there. Let's talk it out. Oh, we gonna hit. No, nigga. Like, I got that war done within, I thought the war would be done within I thought 72 hours. I'm like, bro, we should go to bomb their asses. It's over. Nah, they're not doing that because I understand the civilian lives and the public view, but who gives a fuck? If it just strikes, that's different. If it operations, that which it is not a declaration of war, but the operations, that's different because it's like, all right, it's an operation, it's a strike, there's a certain mission we got to do, go get it done. No civilian, try to keep less civilian casualties. Try to keep damage minimum, just get the mission done. That makes sense. But when it comes to a point where is war, and we come to a point where it's war, nigga, end it. Bomb the oil facility, bomb the military bases, bomb any factories, get it done, take it over, Air Force airstrips to get their any type of military bases, any of them. Bomb it, get it over it, bomb the bridges, stop the oil, stop the reinforcements, stop any type of transportation. Fuck it. Your country declared war, my country declared war. It's not my fault that you can't defend your country. Not my fault. Not my fault you can't defend your people. If you can't defend your people, don't declare war. Don't go to war with me. Do what I want. Well, that's warmonger, that's control. No, we're powerful, you're not. That's what it is. You want to get more powerful, build your military up. Get better relations. Get help from other countries. I mean, there's literally nothing else you can do about it. Like, that's all you can do. If you want your way to be the way, get stronger. That's all I can say.
Two-state solution idea. They don't. Why are we lying to ourselves? They don't want a two-state solution. They want Israel to be absolved. They do not want a Jewish state. They made it clear, I don't know for how many years. Netanyahu, they removed Jews from Gaza and gave it to them. And what did they do in return? They elected a terrorist organization that extracted funding and resources from them to build tunnels to create terrorism against Israel. They cannot live in peace with these people. They continue to fight against Israel and the Jewish state. And I don't understand why we're acting as if that's not so. They've given them their own sovereignty to a certain degree. Imagine if they had their own
Officer
state.
Tatum, Officer Tatum, do you think, Officer Tatum, that Palestinians should have the same rights, human rights, as Israelis?
Let me put it in perspective. There was a war that was fought.
It's a yes or no.
Wait. Is he an Israel supporter? I'm thinking he's saying bomb Israel. No, bomb Iran. Yeah, he was talking about bombing Iran, right? But is he an Israel supporter?
Well, let me get to it. I will.
No, you can't equivocate.
I will answer it.
You either believe
I'm
that
not
or you
equivocating.
don't. The reason I'm asking you, it's so central.
Let me start with your. Let me answer your question first.
It's so central.
Let me answer your question first. Yes.
Okay, good.
Answer is yes.
Good.
But let me articulate that there was a war fought, and Israel won the war, so they don't have to do anything for anybody.
Wait, what war are you talking about?
1948. Was that not
there was
a war that was fought? They got attacked on all sides.
There's been many wars
after they rejected the two-state solution. After they rejected the two-state solution, a war was fought. They won. Every war that has been fought, Israel has won. They've been.
It wasn't Israel. It wasn't Israel who won that. In 1948, it wasn't Israel who won that. It was British. It was the British who came over and forced and even Americans came over and forced the Palestinians to give up land. Israel. There wasn't an Israel in 1948. There wasn't one. The current one. It was a Zionist running away from Europe because Hitler was whooping their ass, and they went to Palestine and forcibly took over using the Great Britain at the time, UK. I'll just say UK. Using the UK and America at the time. There wasn't no military for Israel. Israel didn't win shit. They still don't win shit. We currently fight their wars. That's not them winning. That's America winning. That's not them winning. So he's speaking utter bullshit. He's just speaking bullshit.
Victorious. They don't owe Palestinians anything, but they're peaceful people.
Which war gave them?
They don't owe them. They don't owe Palestinians anything.
Right? Yeah.
What do you mean they don't owe you? They literally let you live on their land. The Zionists was fleeing. The Zionists were fleeing Europe. Then they went to Palestine. They're refugees. They went to Palestine as refugees. Then they were given their own land. Then they start expanding forcefully. But they went in as refugees. That's why America and UK is so critical on Muslims entering the country. Because the same way Jewish did. They entered as refugees. Got into politics. Got into politics enough to get a military. Get their own shit. That's exactly what Muslims are doing right now. The Middle East is doing right now. They're moving to European countries as refugees and slowly taking over. That's what Jewish did in Palestine. Then it became a war.
Yeah, no. Actually, I mean, they only owe them what we all owe each other, I suppose. But what?
I mean,
war
you can make
Israel,
you can make that argument, but that's not a real argument.
Yeah, it is. What war did Israel win that gave them the right to occupy the Palestinians in perpetuity for all of history?
Let's bring into. But first of all, I don't know why you think it's an occupation. Jews have lived in Israel and since the beginning of time, never ceasing to exist in Israel. They were the majority, became the minority.
Yes,
they
those
never
two
ceased to
things
exist
are not
in Israel.
related at all.
Let me finish.
Yes,
let me
okay.
finish.
Not related.
What I'm saying is that
I
you're
think it's
acting
an
as if
occupation
Jews don't
because
have
it's a military occupation.
Jews, what I'm saying is that Jews have entitlement to the land. Palestinians don't have exclusive entitlement. So when a war is fought, the Jews can make the decision what they do with Palestinians or not. Just like in America, we can say what we want to do with the Native Americans
so
or
let
not.
me ask you. Okay,
let me finish. Let me finish my point, and I'll answer your question.
Okay, sure.
Just real quick, it'll be a couple seconds. But because we have humanity and dignity, we allow for Native Americans in America to have reservations, and we support them in all of the above. Because Israel and Jews have dignity, they allow them to have swaths of the West Bank, and they allow them to have Gaza, where they elected their own government system. Now, do Israel have control? I see why. Can't you see? If they had absolutely no control, they had no idea what was coming in through the southern border, through the sea, how much more of a terrorist attack would we see in Israel? It would be even more massive. So I understand that. But when they were offered a two-state solution, why did they reject it?
All right, Dave.
Again, I don't know what period of time you're talking about, what war you're talking about, but so here's a major difference. You might notice this, Piers, between Native Americans, say in the United States of America. You know, they have.
Okay, now it's a complete difference. Now it really is a complete difference. The United States of America and Native Americans, in my opinion. This is my opinion. Before he even talked, the difference is I get what the black dude is saying. I understand what he's saying. The cop, he's saying. Yes, America, it kind of like how America did natives. America came in, they won whatever fight they did. They pilgrims and Thanksgiving pretty much. They won whatever they won, and they could do what they want to do to natives. They gave them land, gave them representation, blah 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 blah. But at the end of the day, the Americans won the war. They can do what they want. He's saying the same thing with Israel. He's saying Israel went to Palestine, won the war. They can do everything. They can do whatever they want with Palestinians. But that's not what happened. That's literally not what happened. Literally at all. And even if that was the case, it's still not right. The America was built in the 1800s, I think, or some shit, 1700s, some shit. It's 1700s, right? Yeah, I think America built 1700s. Let me see. My bad, y'all. Hold on. America was established in 1700s. Okay, that's what I thought. All right, bro, it had to be 1700s. Yeah. July 4th, 1776, the independence was adopted. The federal government, so America was established in 1776. Okay. 4th of July, you have independence from the British. Then the military, our government officially started in 1789. When did Christopher... Let's see when Christopher Columbus landed. Okay, so America originally started in 1700s after 4th of July. But Christopher Columbus landed in North America with natives at the time in 1492. In Bahamas. He never landed in the United States, but the Mayflower did. That's a lot of history diving. Pretty much, America started in 1700s. There you go. It was founded. It was seen in the 1400s. The land is going to become America in 1400s, but it was founded in 1700s.
Have citizenship and voting rights, and so at a certain point, if you're going to say okay, yes, that's right. Now, how about the Palestinians living under Israeli control in the West Bank?
My bad, y'all
they do not have citizenship or voting rights, and so if
they don't
you're
have
going to
citizenship
say,
in Israel.
Right,
they
and
do.
Israel's the government that's
elections.
Controlling.
They have elections, don't they?
Listen, Brennan, think about what you're advocating for. That's not you're not addressing the point here. They don't have citizenship in that. You just said that. Hey, you understand why Israel is going to control these areas because in your estimation, there'd be more violence if they didn't control these areas. Now, I disagree with that estimation, but whatever. Okay, but then you're saying Israel has control and these people don't have citizenship or voting rights in Israel. If Israel is controlling Gaza and the West Bank, and they've got millions of people there who don't have citizenship or voting rights, don't have any say in that government, what would you call that? By the way, we could maybe, I mean, I could make the argument that there'd be less crime if we just occupied high crime black neighborhoods in America, stripped all the people of their voting rights, of their civil rights, of their natural rights, and we just had a military occupation.
He's not lying. He's not lying. He's not lying. And as a black person, as a black man, to hear that and to agree with him is sad. But he ain't lying. He's not lying. If you're saying, yeah, okay, well, shit, not giving them like voting rights and say so, yeah, gonna lower the crime rate. Okay, I can do the same thing with the black community. I can go to a black neighborhood, take away your rights, then you can't do shit. It gonna lower the crime rate. You have no rights. So yeah, I mean, shit, he ain't lying.
I think we would all.
That's why that cop dude looking salty. That's why he looking salty.
Except you're not allowed to do that to people because we're like
Dave, your argument
living
is
in the
not
post-enlightenment.
Your argument is not a real argument.
It's a real argument.
They don't
you keep saying that, but you can't take
Gaza.
it on.
Hey, listen, okay, let's give it. If they actually
Israel doesn't control Gaza.
No. If
Who
they actually
does?
control Gaza, okay, let me answer. If they actually control Gaza the way you're saying it, they would have never elected Hamas, and they would have never built tunnels, and they would never stole funding and manipulated the people, and they would never treat women the way they do, and they would never throw people off buildings.
Why would they have never done that? Why would they have never done that if what I'm saying is true?
If Israel controlled them, they don't control them. They left them to their own devices.
Okay, so just to be
and in the
okay,
West
so let's
Bank,
just be very clear.
the PLO has manipulated the people. That's why they have a separate election in Gaza, because the PLO had manipulated the people in the West Bank, and they didn't want that governance. So they are governing themselves.
Okay.
However, you will never see. I've been to Israel. You will never see Jews in Palestine, or what you call the West Bank. You would never see them in Gaza. But there are hundreds of thousands of Arabs and Palestinians that work in Israel. I was there. I saw it. I'm even surprised October the 7th
nobody's denying
happened.
that. No, yeah, everybody knows.
It's the same thing in fucking America. What do you mean? Oh, I've been to Israel. Oh, I ain't seen no Jewish people in Gaza. You know why? Because it's flattened. Why would there be any Jewish people in Gaza? Why? Why would anybody go? It's literally currently being bombed. Why would I go to... That's like me going to Mexico to live. Like, why would I leave America to go to Mexico? Then he comes back and he says, I don't see Jewish people in Gaza, but I see Palestinians in Israel. No dip. Like no shit. Same thing with Mexicans. You're going to see them in America. When we bombed Afghanistan, they was in America. When we went in for Iraq, it was in America. Somalia in America. Haiti in America. A lot of them go to the enemy country. A lot of them migrate to the country that's winning. So just because you see Palestinians in Israel, that doesn't mean shit. That doesn't mean they're not oppressed. That doesn't mean they're not going through shit. Like what? That's the same thing with the Nazis. There was Jewish people in the Nazis. There was Jewish people in the Nazis occupied area. Did they have rights? No. Did they get anything? No. Shit. There were Jewish people in the Nazi military. Did they get anything? No. But this nigga just talking, bro.
Israel's
what I'm saying.
See, he's a coon. That's a coon. That's a coon. That's the definition of a coon. Because it's like, bro, at this point you're just talking. It's like you visually see. It's crazy. Because bro, you visually see what's going on in Gaza. You visually see what's going on with Israel. Not saying we can relate, but as black people or history, we can somewhat relate. Like, we can somewhat understand, like, oh yeah, nah, Gaza people are suffering. Look, y'all can have a war, y'all can take over their country and shit, whatever. But y'all gotta stop killing these kids, bro. Y'all gotta leave. Y'all gotta stop. Even the Jewish should be able to relate to that, to the genocide, like in the killing and all the deaths. They should be able to relate, at least in some way. It's wrong. The nigga just talking, bro.
Is that what I'm saying is that Israel is not treating Palestinians the way that people are acting like they are.
Okay,
They gave them freedom.
Okay, I've got to
do what they need to do.
Okay, wait a second. I've got to wrap things. I've got to wrap things. But I wanted to ask Dave one question before we wrap. It's just this. This decision by the UK and other countries to declare a state of Palestine has been ridiculed by Israelis as simply playing into Hamas's hands, giving them a reward for October the 7th. Is it meaningful to you at all?
Well, I mean, yeah, I think it's somewhat I mean, look, it's obviously a gesture more than anything else, but I do think it's significant that there's at least the feeling that there's a need to make the gesture, I think is a result of public opinion shifting so greatly on this. But, I got to say to this, look, first of all, I'll just say a couple things. Number one, right after 9/11, it was Colin Powell, the wisest member of George W. Bush's government, which is not saying much, who went to George W. Bush and said, you got to do a two-state solution now. Like, you have record high approval ratings. 9/11 just happened. This is the time we can get it done. And the reason Colin Powell said that was not because he wanted to give the Palestinians something, but because he knew that this was right at the center of the cause of why there's so much hatred for Americans in the Muslim world. And that we had every single president of my lifetime, with the exception of Trump, wanted a two-state solution. None of them could ever get it done. None of them could ever get it done, in large part because of the enormous power of the Israel lobby in the United States of America.
The Arabs rejected it. Israel agreed.
I know. We heard you say that. Anyway.
No, you need to talk about that.
Yeah,
Israel
you're wrong,
agreed
but
to every single two-state solution.
Okay, yeah.
They agreed, cool, it never happened. Okay.
Right, okay.
Because you're telling me I'm wrong?
Nobody's saying you're wrong. You're saying, Israel agreed. Okay, cool, they agreed, but it never happened. Okay, cool.
You know what?
For the 15th time, you're 100% wrong. Benjamin Netanyahu, the longest-serving prime minister, in Israeli history, has made at the center of his entire career thwarting a Palestinian state. He has said this in his own words over again. You don't know what you're talking about if you think that Israel has just been trying. No, you're
that are
just
watching
dumb.
this fact check.
You don't know what you're talking about, dude.
Now you want to attack me.
Call me a liar.
Address the
you're
issue.
calling me a liar, dude, and you're full of shit. You don't know shit.
Factual.
You don't know
I'll tell you, Officer Tatum. Wait a sec. I actually think.
I did what?
Here is the part nobody put on the screen. Brandon Tatum spent this entire debate insisting Palestinians are the ones who keep rejecting peace. Fine. Let's go to the actual record. Not a debate stage record. The real one. Benjamin Netanyahu, the man Tatum is defending by proxy, stood in front of cameras in September of 2025, right after the United Kingdom formally recognized a Palestinian state and said a Palestinian state will not be established west of the Jordan River. Not someday. Not under the wrong conditions. Not happening. Full stop. That is not a Palestinian rejecting a two-state solution. That is the Prime Minister of Israel, on the record, closing the door himself while people like Tatum go on television and blame the people standing outside it. Dave Smith did not even have to dig for that one. He just asked which war gave Israel the right to control people who cannot vote. And Tatum answered with 1948, while the man he is defending is out there in real time saying the thing Tatum just spent 10 minutes denying. But here's the part that actually moves this forward. This is not some fringe opinion anymore. Gallup ran a poll in February of 2026, and here's what it found. 57% of American adults now favor an independent Palestinian state alongside Israel. That includes a majority of independents. Meanwhile, support for a two-state solution among Israelis themselves sits at only 27%, and Palestinians in the West Bank and East Jerusalem back it at just 33%. Read that again. The people most invested in peace have less faith in it than the country watching from 6,000 miles away. That is not an accident. That is what happens when the leadership on both sides has spent decades telling people the other side will never change, and then making sure it never has to. Now, here is what that means if you are not the one on a debate stage. If you are a person trying to figure out why your government sends billions overseas while you cannot afford your rent, this is your answer. It is not complicated policy. It is a system built to keep both populations locked in a fight neither one voted for, funded by people who never have to live in it. And that brings us to the thing Tatum actually said out loud, and I do not think he realized how it landed. He compared Palestinians under occupation to Native Americans on reservations, like that was a defense.
Like,
it was not. It was an admission.
I'm like, bro, like, nigga, you're tripping.
described a population controlled by a government they cannot vote in, cannot leave freely, and cannot hold accountable, and called it generous. I have watched a lot of people lose an argument without noticing. That was one of the cleaner ones. This is not the end of this story, not even close. There is a lot more in that record. His career, his donors, his decades in office, and none of it points toward the peace he claims to want. I am Silas Miller, and The Wire will be here when the next chapter drops.
Okay.
Funny.
Hey, bro, fuck with bro. That argument was for sure getting heated. Yeah, let me look up. let me try to find. Yeah, was it Dave Smith? Yeah, also Tatum. Yeah, let's see this dude. Yeah, I gotta see fit the rest of that argument. No, it's just an argument. Hey. Piers Morgan, yeah. Let's see. Okay. I think this might be it, y'all.
You don't know what you're talking.
Let's see. I can find it. The end of it. Oh shit, that's the only clip people got. Let's see.
Can't you see? If they had absolutely no control,
About.
1948. Was that not
There was war.
Okay, yeah, so that's the only clip they got. They don't have no other clips, I guess. I gotta find it. Well, yeah, Officer Tatum, I don't know the fuck he's even talking about at this point. I don't know what he's even talking about. He was just saying, like, he was just saying a bunch of nonsense. I'm not saying nonsense in a way of what he's saying is wrong or he's lying all the time about certain, like, stuff. I'm not saying that. I'm saying, like, him being oblivious of shit and trying to, like, compare Native Americans to the Palestinians and what Israel's doing and the Americans doing. It's like, bro, like, you know, like, what? What? Is what it is.